to more series, inshallah, so that we all of us can benefit from our sharing sessions, inshallah. So I guess that's all my short welcoming, and also basically talking about this first activity, inshallah. So that's all from me, Prof. Kiran. I pass it back to you.
Thank you, Prof. Hanim. Okay, so I pass the session to Prof. Irfan for the first presentation.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, Prof. Kiran. Assalamualaikum, salam sejahtera. Selamat pagi, everyone. Thank you for being here. Can you guys hear me clearly? Can you hear me clearly from that side of the wall? Boleh, Prof. Kiran? Can you hear me clearly?
Yes,
okay,
I think they're putting it in the chat. Yes.
Okay, thank you. All right, and thanks to Prof. Hanim for this session, part of our SAUS activity under my can. All right, so for us, I'm going to share our experience in preparing the self-review portfolio. Yeah? So the title of my presentation is SRP Document Preparation, USM Style. Actually, this is tagline made popular by our former VC, Dato' Asma. All right, so this is just some the outline of my presentation. I'm going to talk a bit about this SRP a bit, and then in USM context, and then how we did the write-up and the documentation, and also the self-review. Yeah? And then finally, how we did the formatting. So because the document that was requested from us has to be in Excel form. So a lot of formatting needs to be done, and we had to make sure that all the hyperlinks are in working condition. So we have to make sure that everything works accordingly. Okay, so I think everyone is aware that this is the Excel. This is the interface of the Excel given by MQA. So basically, same as the previous MQA 03, whereby we have part A, part B, and part C. Okay, and then we also have here we also have glossary, and then we also have self-review score. So our own institution has to perform this self-review. Yeah? So this is where we declare our self-review exercise or marks. So a little bit on USM's case, we actually started doing this, writing up the or preparing the maintenance audit accreditation, preparing the SRP due to the audit susulan. So USM had to go through audit susulan, in which MQA panel came to USM in 2019, yeah, because there are some concerns on our previous audit. So because of that, we had to prepare USM response. So two main things actually. One of the aspects actually on OBE, whereby we had to review all our programs, yeah, in terms of OBE practice. And then at the same time, although it was not requested by MQA, but we did prepare our own SRP, self-review portfolio, all the way since early 2020. So we took that opportunity actually while the university is in the mood of audit. So we also prepared the SRP, self-review portfolio. So from this USM response, which we submitted to MQA, and then as I said just now, we also prepared this self-review portfolio, but still using the 9 areas, yeah, the earlier COPIA with 9 areas. So we prepared that together with the USM response, and then in 2021, then we prepared this SRP using 4 areas as requested by MQA. So that's the whole exercise. The point is we started this exercise all the way from 2020. Although for the 4 areas, we started in early 2021. Okay, so this is actually the front page of our document when we submitted the MQA 03. So I think I'm not going to go through detail the areas for each, the criteria for each of these areas, institutional leadership and governance, and then we also have to about area 2, academic development, area 3 about talent and resources, and area 4 about CQI and sustainability. So the rest are all based on previous criteria, but the new ones, if you notice, the new one is actually institutional sustainability. So this is something new that we have to add from the previous SRP that we have written in 2020. So this is the new element. Okay, so how did we prepare our self-review portfolio document? First of all, these are some of the things that we did. First of all, when we prepared this SRP, actually is based on our response to audit susulan in 2019. So by early 2020, we have started working this SRP, although we are still using the 9 areas. All right, MQA 03 9 areas. And then MQA gave a briefing on 7th of January 2021, in which all these 8 universities, the first batch of self-accreditation universities, self-accrediting universities, we have to prepare the MQA 03, which covers 4 areas. And then it has to be in Excel format, right? So because of that, we had to sit down again, and then we had to start writing up and prepare all the documents. So we have several auditors, experienced auditors, from all our 3 campuses, engineering campus, health campus, and main campus. And then we had 3 workshops actually. We had these 3 workshops actually to discuss what to be included, what to be written in the SRP, and so on and so forth. And we have decided in the very first stage, we have decided that for each and every criterion and standard, our target is at least attainment level of 4. That's our aim, at least. If we can get 5, is the best. So we want to have at least attainment level 4. So that is for the write-up and also documentation. And also when it comes to the self-review, so the same team actually reviewed the MQA 03, and then we have to make sure that the write-up actually reflects at least attainment level 4. But of course, we noticed that some of our standards or criteria actually reach AL5. Okay, so that's on the self-review part. And then for the formatting, although it was requested to be submitted in Excel, but we also prepared both formats, both in Excel and also in Microsoft Word format. And because it is in Excel, then we have to make sure that all the hyperlinks are in working condition. So if we have so many hyperlinks, so we have to test every single hyperlinks and make sure that they work. And because this is in Excel form, and then a lot of appendices that are attached to those documents, to those write-up, then we also prepared a manual for, especially for MQA and also for panel of auditors, be able to download the files, because we uploaded to the server. So we prepared the manuals because we do not want situation whereby they are not able to download those files. And then during the formatting also, we also asked several people actually to proofread and also reviewed our documents again. So and then we submitted our document in April 2021. So the process starts after the briefing by MQA in January. So we were given about 3 months only actually to prepare the MQA 03 or the SRP document. All right, only 3 months. And then we submitted the soft copy and hard copy to MQA. The hard copy in hard copy, and then 5 thumb drives actually we sent to MQA. At the same time, we also provide the link in which all these documents and appendices we upload to our server. So these are some of the steps that we took in when we prepared this document. So, and then if I focus or zoom into these three parts, writing up, documentation, self-review, and formatting. So when we did the write-up, as I said just now, we invited several experienced MQA auditors to sit down with us and help us in writing the SRP. And then, so we had to write the document based on the 4 areas, definitely. And then where did we start? Actually, we started from based on the guide on compliance evaluation for self-accreditation universities. So this guideline provided by MQA. So in the guideline, actually, in the manual, we actually identified the documents recommended by them, the basic documents recommended by them. So from this list of documents, then we started asking from the relevant pusat tanggungjawab, the relevant departments. So that's how we started the exercise. And then because it is very important to make sure that the documents are complete and also enough, because it will reflect the attainment level for each standard. Yeah, so if we do not have enough documents, then perhaps it will affect our attainment level. All right, and as I said earlier, we have our emphasis is we targeted that at least for each criterion and standard, at least attainment level of 4. Yeah. So and then when they did the write-up, we also noticed in some cases that more and more documents are needed. So we started to ask again from the relevant PTJs. And in some cases, some of these PTJs, they also participated in the sense that they did the write-up for us. So because they know the documents better, so those write-up actually are very, very useful for us to be included in the SRP. Yeah? And as I said just now, other experts were also involved in finalizing our self-review portfolio. So our duration is between January to April 2021. All right, and then because I mentioned just now, we prepared based on audit susulan, we prepared the SRP, which from the COPIA 209, which has 9 areas. And then we noticed that we tried to map some of the writing actually, mainly from our earlier version, which we wrote in 2020. And then we transferred that into this 2020 COPIA, SRP, the new 2020 version. So if you notice that a lot of similarities from 2009 and then 2020 version, whereby, like say for instance, institutional leadership and governance, this actually from area 1 and 8, academic development management, area 2, 3, 4.1 until 4.3, talent resources 4.4, 4.5 and 4.6, and also CQI 4.6, area 7, area 9. So what we did was we transferred some of this information that we wrote in previous version to these 4 areas. Okay, so this is where I mentioned just now, where we actually started. So from the guide on compliance evaluation for self-accreditation universities, so in this guide, so it gives us a list of examples of supporting documents. So we started from this. We tried to get as much document as possible, and then we work from there. All right. So, and of course, we also requested a lot more which are not listed in this list of supporting documents. So for instance, here 1.1, these are the reports or minutes for meeting, workshop, and whatnot, the booklet, brochure, and so on and so forth. So we refer to this as a start. Okay, and then so in Excel, because we have to write this, prepare this in Excel form, So in the Excel file, we follow exactly what Prof. Suhaimi explained during the briefing. Yeah. So we had this boxes kind of approaches whereby we have 3 boxes. Yeah. Box 1 is actually the narrative for the main one, for the main criterion. And for box 1 here, usually we write in only 1 paragraph, very simple 1 paragraph. And usually for box 1, it usually consists of between, for us, we have only between 3 to 5 hyperlinks. Because box 2, I think the system only allows us to have 5 or 6 box 2, I think. And then we decided for box 2 here, we actually, if we also write either in a short paragraph, we limit 2 or 3 pages. In some areas, we have 3 pages, but mainly our write-up for box 2 is only between 1 or 2 pages only. And in many cases, we put it in bullet form or in point form, so that it's easier for the auditor, for the reader actually to follow the our writing. And then for box 3, this is where the hyperlink to all the appendices. Yeah. So this is our way of formatting this document. Okay. So in the sense, in the what we have for each area, so we have, like say, 4 folders. Yeah, folder for box 1, box 2, and box 3, and also appendix folder. This is actually redundant with box 3. But in appendix, this is our working area whereby we have both the Microsoft Word and also the PDF format. So, but in box 3, which also consists all the appendices, in box 3 we only have the PDF format, because the auditor, when they access to this, when they click this box 3 here, it only goes to the it only links to the PDF files, not to the Word file. Okay, so box 1, for instance, here, so there is one file for box 1, and then here, because we have 3, 1.11, 2, and 3, so we have 3 documents for box 2. Okay, 1.1, 1.12, 1.13, and then for box 3, we included all these appendices, yeah, pertaining to this 1.1. So that's how we did for our box 1, box 2, and box 3. Okay, and then so this is our example of box 1, narration of achievement. So let's say here, 1.1, review of vision, mission, and educational goals. So we have a very short paragraph, only 1 paragraph for this box 1. So here in box 1, we have 3 hyperlinks, 1, 2, and 3. So if we click 1, it goes to box 2. Okay, if we click 2, then it goes to box 2, but different information. So as I said just now, in box 1, we decided to have only 1 simple paragraph, which usually consists between 3 to 5 hyperlinks. So this is meant for box 1. All right, and then so this example, the second example here, 2.1, formulation of learning outcome. So we have 5 hyperlinks. All right, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 hyperlinks. Okay, and then when we go to the, just now is narration on achievement, yeah, achievement 1.1 or achievement 2.1 here, formulation of learning outcomes. And then when we go to box 2, so this is narration on evidence. So this is where we write our narrative for the evidences. Yeah, so just now on the achievement, so this 1, 2, 3 will be hyperlinked to box 2. So this is an example of box 2. If you notice here, our box 2, we use short paragraph and also in bullet form. So usually short paragraph, and then towards the end of the point of short paragraph, so we have this appendix. So that when people click to this appendix, it goes to box 3 or it goes to straight to the relevant appendix, yeah, evidence. So we did not write that long. So as I said earlier, even in box 2 here, I have note here, this is an example of box 2. We wrote a very short paragraph, and then it's between 1 or 2 pages only for box 2. Yeah. So that is box 2. And then this is box 3. Yeah. So for box 3, then this is where we insert or hyperlink all the appendices. All right. And then so many auditors, when they access our Excel here and they read this document, they can access to these appendices in 2 ways. One is, of course, they access from each of the box, box 2, box 2, box 2 here. These are different narrative. And also, they can also, if they want to see all the appendices for this particular 1.1, they can click here, box 3, appendix here. So there are 2 ways of assessing the evidences or the appendices. Yeah? Either by going reading detailed narrative in each of this box 2, or they can straight go to this box 3 to read and access the appendices. So this is how we prepared our Excel for all the criteria and also the standard. So how did we do the self-review? So as I said, the panel of auditors will sit down again and they will start self-evaluate our performance based on the write-up and based on the evidences. And as I said earlier, we targeted a minimum of level 4, attainment level 4. But based on our self-review, definitely we found some of the areas actually, some of the criteria reach level 4 and others reach level 5. Yeah? So we had to do this self-review. So how did we identify the attainment level? Of course, this is based on the description given by MQA in the guide of in the manual. So we have to make sure that, let's say, if we choose number 4, we have to make sure that what we wrote actually according to level 4. Or if we declare it is level 5, then we have to make sure that whatever we wrote and the documents, evidences provided by us actually do reflect level 5. Yeah? For instance, here for 1.1 here, we decided our attainment level of review of vision, mission, and educational goal. We decided which is level 4, AL4. So the approved and disseminated vision, mission, and educational goals have been formulated in consultation with a wider range of stakeholders. Yeah, there is internalization of vision, mission among HEP community. So we agreed to give a 4 for this particular criterion. This is an example, level 5. We for admission and mobility, we thought that our policy, our criteria and process of student selection and admission provide greater accessibility and equity for successful completion of studies. So we based on our write-up and the documents that we provided, we think for this particular criterion, we achieved level 5, the highest level. Okay, so that is about self-review. And then in terms of formatting, so these are the step-by-step, kind of similar to the one I mentioned just now, whereby, you know, when we were given the Excel, we started from this. Yeah, so how to create the hyperlinks. So the instruction has to be followed accordingly in the Excel itself. So we just follow the instruction when we want to insert the hyperlinks. And then, so based on this box 1, this is an example of box 1 just now, we know that this 1 here, it refers to, because this is box 1, this box 1 will refer to, this one will refer, when we click this one, it will go to box 2, and then this is, because we use numbering according to the numbering in the criterion and standard, because this is area 1.1, area 1 and 1.1. So our file, we give the name according to the numbering. So here, when we click this one, we will link to 1.1.1 and then hyperlink number 1. And it goes to box number 2 because this is the narration of evidence, which is in box 2. Same goes to this one. This is 1.1 narrative for number 2 or evidence number 2, narrative on evidence number 2. And this one is for number 3. So we use the formatting according to this numbering of area and sub area. Okay, that's box 1. So, and then box number 2, same format, whereby we have this simple paragraph, and then this one, it goes to box 3, because from box 2 it has to be linked to box 3. That's why this one, appendix 111B, this is when we click here, it goes to evidence which we in our box 3 folder. Yeah, so that's how from box 1 it goes to box 2, from box 2 it goes to box 3. That's how it works. And as I said just now, our document folders, we name it according to the area. Yeah, area 1.1. So this is the folder area 1.1, which has four subfolders: appendix, box 1, box 2, box 3. And then even the name of the document are based on the place where we write them. Yeah, so this one is, for instance, for area 1.1, for box 2, these are the 3 documents: 1.11, 1.12, 1.13 box 2. Because when you end up with so many files, so this system of naming the files and folders are very, very important. So we, as I mentioned earlier, we prepared both the Word and PDF file. So and then, like, for instance, here for each area here, we have 4 folders: appendix, box 1, box 2, box 3. So in appendix here, we save all the words and PDF files in the same appendix folder, so that when we want to make changes or editing, then we can go to the appendix here and we finalize it. Then we transfer to the box 3 in the PDF format. Okay, this is again when we want to insert. I think when we want to insert the folder, then we use this how to insert hyperlink. Basically, how we insert hyperlink, and then we have to make sure the folder is the correct one. So this is how we insert or edit the hyperlink. Okay, and then we know that if the document, when we check each and every document, we have to make sure that the hyperlink works. So every single hyperlink here, we have to test. We have to try hyperlink it. If it works, then that's fine. If not, then we have to check what went wrong. Okay, same goes to box 2. In a box 2, it has to be hyperlinked to box 3. Yeah, all hyperlink in box 2 has to be linked to box 3. Here, we notice when the Excel is ready, when we point to this particular box 3 and then it shows where it goes, then we know that it's a completed hyperlink and the hyperlink works, right? So yeah, okay, this when we click this one, it will show you all these appendices. And finally, finally, as I said earlier, we have to prepare the instruction how to download the SRP and also the evidences. So what we did was actually we uploaded all the document as well as evidences to our website, to our server, and then we prepare manual how to download it and how to save it in the laptop or in C drive, so that the hyperlink will work accordingly. If not, then the reader or the auditors will have problem accessing to those files. So they have to save it somewhere and then use WinRAR actually to extract all the files and then save in their own laptop or desktop, wherever. And again, we also submitted 5 flash drive or thumb drive to MQA, beside 1 hard copy to them, and also this our main file in which we uploaded to our server. So there are 3 ways actually. One is in the thumb drive, one is in the hard copy. Although hard copy, we only prepared 1 copy that's requested by MQA, and then from the server. So, and then one last thing that I would like to share is actually because one thing that we did not have all this while. Yeah, I have to admit that USM does not have this, which is our institutional educational goal, IEG. So for this exercise, so we we had a workshop and then we came up with our own IEG, right? So, and our IEG is actually based on what we call our Hebat agenda. For co-curricular activities, extracurricular activities by High Awal Pelajar, we have this excellent Hebat agenda of university. H, holistic, entrepreneurial, balanced, articulate, and thinking graduate. So at the end of the day, we would like our students to be, our graduates to be holistic graduate, entrepreneurial, balanced, articulate, and thinking graduate. So we came up with our IEG based on this Hebat agenda. So we came up with 5 IEGs, yeah, and then we mapped these 5 IEGs to MQF 2.0. So basically, these 5 IEGs really match with our 5 clusters of MQF 2.0. All right. So I think that's all. Thank you very much for listening for my presentation, and perhaps during Q&A, if I can answer your questions. If not, then I have my officer also here, Puan Saira, perhaps to explain about the technical part of the documentation and formatting. Thank you. Back to you, Prof. Kiran.
All right. Thank you, Prof. Irfan. Right. I'm sure all of you found this presentation extremely detailed and interesting and very, very useful. I hope later we can share the slides, Prof. Irfan. I think for those universities who are going to be going through this exercise, and very similar to what we at UM also experienced. Yeah. So for Q&A, we will have it later. I can see there is already one question there. All right. I will continue with the next one, which is on, let me just share my slides. Okay, so what I'm going to speak about is the actual site visit, yeah, at the time of the compliance audit, yeah, at UM. So when did this happen? So the actual site visit was between 15th to 17th of December 2021, 3 days on site. Earlier we were contemplating whether it should be remotely done, but looking at the SOPs at that time, it was possible to arrange it on site, and MQA and the panel preferred it that way. Yeah, so we had on-site visit. So who we had to face during the site visit? Yes, we had 5 members of the audit panel, and also we had 7 MQA members. Yeah, and if you see this little picture here, right from the beginning, every time we face audit, we tend to use this picture a lot, yeah, because this is what you need to be. Yeah, you might feel like a little kitten inside, yeah, because you are facing an audit, and at a large scale, especially something which is going to really affect your whole institution. But you have to put up a very brave front in front of the auditors or whoever is there to audit. In fact, you also have to put up a very brave front with all within your institution also. Yeah, because when I believe most of you here are those who are going to be in charge of the happenings at your university. So you need to show confidence so that the rest of the university members are confident in what you and your team members are doing. And that will take you through this successfully. Yeah. So a little about QMAC. Why I'm giving this talk, basically at Universiti Malaya, the Quality Management and Enhancement Center. So this center, this is our built up of the center. We are actually directly under the Associate Vice Chancellor of Corporate Strategy. Yeah, but this only happened sometime in October last year. Before that, we were directly under the Vice Chancellor. All right, so the center, QMAC, is responsible for the quality management system. We run our QMS system based on MS ISO 9001, 2015. We are also responsible on the maintenance of the SAUS accreditation status. So accreditation of programs come under us. Yeah, so this is our setup, and we were the frontliners in preparing and handling the management system. But of course, very important is the whole team. Yeah, so what we could do is only we are at the point of managing it. Yeah, but the strong team here, as you can see, it right starts right from board of directors. Yeah, so in the board of directors were very, very actively involved in the preparation of the SRP in terms of once it was prepared, we had to let them know what are the contents. Yeah? And the top management, academic entities, dean, deputy deans, in terms of human resource, bursary, because there are issues on finances that we need to report, IT, student bodies, yes, because student body, alumni, all these are important because they are going to provide you with the interviewees during the site visit. Yeah. The Academic Development Enhancement Center, very strong because of training given to academic staff, yeah, for program quality assurance. The academic admin and services, there's a lot of emphasis on services. Yeah? So academic admin services, academic strategic planning, the library, they even included CEOs. Yeah? The centers of excellence were included. You have to write about the research at your university, and also champions in terms of research champions in publication. So people who are very strong within your university, you need to identify them. Yeah. So even academicians, when you write your report, you will find that you need to know academicians in your university who are excelling in teaching and learning, people who excel in research. Yeah. So, and many more, yeah, definitely many more units, and all came together as a team. So this team, as you have heard Prof. Irfan say, very strongly contribute to the writing of the documentation, but at the same time, during the site visit, the center who is in charge has to keep very open and strong communication lines with all of these centers, all of these entities. Because during the site visit, the interviews that are going on, a lot of things may be revealed and they need more evidence. So you need to quickly be able to identify the right person at all these entities who will give you the information quickly, because they only have 3 days with you. Yeah? Okay, the preparation, of course, begin with the SRP. So this SRP, we needed to let people know what is the content. Yeah, so we shared the link with all the heads of responsibility centers. We did not openly open to every one of the because these links contained some evidences which are confidential to a certain extent. So we shared it with the head of responsibility centers, so deans, directors, and then they would decide who else that they can share the link with. Yeah, and we made a series of presentation just before the site visit to the board of directors, to the top management, deans, deputy deans, directors of responsibility centers, academic staff group, students group, alumni group. Okay, now why this was necessary? Basically, it was just to tell them the purpose of the visit so that they understand what the SWA Accreditation visit is about, introduce them to the instrument. So if they go into the interview room, they have a clear understanding of what the panel has already read and know, and what is expected of them, and the key strengths and weaknesses that we identify in the SRP. So these are very basic information that we shared with these groups of people so that they have an idea of what is going on. And also we needed their commitment. Yeah, you want their commitment so they do turn up for the interviews. Right? But the content, of course, they read it by themselves and they share their own experiences. So the interview sessions, yes, these are what happened at These were the groups of people that we were told, we were given a time, tentative jadwal, yeah, for identifying people. Of course, board of directors, the vice chancellors, our deputy vice chancellors, bursar, registrar, legal advisors, deans, deputy deans, HOD, program coordinators, the quality assurance center itself, QMAC, our risk and business continuity office, specific responsibility centers. They were interested in our Institute of Advanced Studies, UMCSET, that's our continuing education branch. Yeah, the student council members, alumni, students. The visit will tell you that they want UG students, PG students, and because of the online teaching and learning, we also have remote learning mode. So they wanted sample of students who are doing remote learning, and the students were divided. Yeah, so you will have to compartmentalize them in terms of local, international, so local UG, international PG, and also include students with special needs. Their staff also was divided, their sessions, those in SNT and non-SNT, directors of Center of Excellence. Yes, there was a lot of emphasis on this group of people and champions, as I said earlier. Yeah, research award winners, publication award winners, commercialization, people who are active in all this. Yeah? So these are the group of people. And what you need to do will be assign specific staff, yeah, to take care of each group. Take care here meaning that when you get this list, you have to find the right people, get in touch with them, yeah, and then you need to have their contact numbers, you need to contact them, make sure that they are available during those 2 days. Yeah, interviews went on 15 and 16, and the timing. So you need a lot of commitment from them. And even on that day itself, you need to make sure you have groups of people who are taking care of each of this group. So you bring them to the meeting room and handle the sessions. Of course, you can't go into the session. Yeah? So in the beginning, getting the dates, 15 to 17 December with MQA, and within UM, December was a very, very active month. And getting the dates from your board of directors. Yeah, they're very busy people, and you have to get their dates to suit the dates that you have arranged with MQA. So that's a challenge that you will face, and it is good to start early on that. Yeah? So how it went on was you will receive a confirmation of suggested panel from MQA. So MQA will suggest the panel. So what we did, we look at the CV of each of the panel. We presented it to the Vice Chancellor for approval. Yeah, you want to avoid, I think this is a very good move, yeah, to avoid any conflict of interest on the Ahli panel. If you are familiar with that person, or if that person has any ties within your institution. Yeah, so that was cleared. We had no issue with the panel that was suggested. And then we had a preliminary discussion with the chairperson of the panel, the secretary and MQA representative. Okay, so this session was basically to confirm the itinerary and also address requests for additional documents. Yeah? So by the time the preliminary discussion happens, I think it was about 2 weeks before the actual visit, there were requests for additional documents. As they have read the SAR, there might be some evidences which are not there or not clear, or errors. Then you clear up all this before. Yeah, so there's a discussion. And then we identified the person in charge for each group of interviewees. We get the dates from the board of directors, identify the interviewees, you get their contact number, their emails, their telephone. You have to keep close contact with them. Yeah, and a day before the interview, we contact them again, send them reminders. Yeah, so tomorrow is your time, your slot at so and so time. Okay, prepare for logistic. I think this is common. Yeah, hotel pickup and drop-offs. SOPs for face-to-face sessions, yeah, arranging for their meals. We had to make sure that the SOPs for the pandemic were adhered to. Prepare an operational room for the panel, interview room for parallel sessions. So what we had all our interviews within our chancellery building on one floor. So enough rooms were available, so that makes it easier, yeah, for you to handle the interviews. Prayer room for the panels, and copy of the printed SRP. Yes, yeah, as I think Prof Irfan explained to you earlier, the SRP is done in an Excel form, and that is what is submitted to the panel. Yeah, but on that day of interview, the panel also requested that we have a hard copy available. Yeah. and a printer in their room. So during the site visit, yes, preparation is key. Yeah, interviews don't turn up. What do you do? Okay, it's okay. All right, stay calm. It will happen. There will be people within your interview list. That's why you can have spare. All right, if those of them who are on site at campus, especially academic staff or students, make sure you have additional list of students. There will be people who cannot come, but it's okay. You just inform the secretariat, okay? And a request for new evidence on site. Okay, this happened a lot throughout the 2 days. Okay, as the interviews are going on, the panel may find something new and they will request. So ask for time, talk to your panel. Usually you can talk to the panel directly or the MQA secretariat. Okay, contact the responsible person, and it's good to have a WhatsApp group of the SRP writers. Remember earlier I said the team. So have your team on your WhatsApp group, immediately tell them, okay, panel needs evidence for so and so purpose. So get the evidence within the 2 days. Even until the 3rd day morning, you can still present the panel with the evidences. Time management for each interview session, I would say do not worry. We worried a lot about that, yeah, because it is very, very packed and we're very worried about extending. But I would say it's not your responsibility because MQA Secretariat was excellent. They took care of this. Yeah, that's why the Secretariat will be there with the panel. They take care of their timing and each session. You just need to make sure your representative for the interview sessions are there on time. Okay. Confidentiality and data protection, all right? So I would advise that during the opening session at the university, state your policies on data protection and confidentiality, okay? How much of information that you are able to share, and especially with your digital copies, whether you allow panels to have a copy of the documentation, because you have already uploaded most of it in the Excel. All right, so any additional information that requested at that point, you make your policies clear to the panel. Verification, yes, these are between interview sessions. So this was something which was not in the original timetable, but as the sessions went on, there were times where usually it happened during the lunch break. The panel will ask to talk to the QA unit. Yeah? So here QMAC was called in. Anything that they find they need to verify. So they will have quick sessions to verify with you anything that has been said during the interviews that they have found, if it contradicts with what is in your SRP. Yeah? So these verification sessions are very, very useful. And site visit, yes. Site visit, we were not told beforehand which facilities they are going to visit, because what happens is the panel told us at the day 2, end of day 2, they will inform us. Day 3 morning, there will be site visits. So what we assume is during the interviews, if there are any issues that come up, these are the things that they want to verify with the site visit. So on the 2nd day, we were told that they would like to visit, they visited residential colleges, they visited sports facilities, research centers, the visa unit, and also academic administration unit. So if you see, mostly this would have come from interviews with students. Yeah? So there would have been issues brought up by students and they would like to verify. So these are the site visits. Yeah? So you need to, again, the WhatsApp group is very important. Immediately inform the right person at the various locations, yeah, to be ready for the site visit the following day. Okay. So there's not much to prepare here, just you need one person there to receive the panel as they visit. Yeah. All right, the closing meeting at it lasted for almost an hour. Basically, the presentation by the panel is done by area. Yeah, they go area by area, very detailed. There was a lot from our wrap up. What we find is there was a lot of focus of the strategic planning and the implementation of the university strategic plans. Practices were checked against MQA requirements and standards. Yeah? Accreditation status of programs. Yeah? These are issues that were brought because before your site visit, you will have an audit surveillance, yeah? Before your audit pematuhan. So issues raised during the audit surveillance are also checked. And feedback from students, yes, a lot of feedback from students was related to us, and enhancement of IQA. So these are some of the things that they highlighted in the closing meeting. Yeah. So a lot, they do not act, because it's an institutional audit, so a lot of emphasis is on the running of the institution as a whole, the governance of it. So what I can share a little bit more is on, of course, documentation. You cannot run away from documentation. It takes a long time to prepare the SRP and upload all the necessary documents and evidences. And even during the site visit, you will be asked for additional evidences. Yeah? So that is ongoing in that 3 days. Continuously, you will be asked. Okay, no surprises. What I mean here is, if you practice what you have put on paper or what you have put in the SRP, you will not have any surprises. So thankfully at I can safely say that we did not have any surprises. All right, there of course there are areas of weaknesses which we had already identified during the write-up of the SRP, because you need to write in, yeah, your strength and your weaknesses, and you will, as you rate at what level you are, level of attainment, you already know. Yeah, and no coaching of interviewees. Yeah, we got comments from the panel that they appreciated the openness of the interviewees in speaking their mind. Yeah, so I think that is also a very positive feedback that we got. Yeah, we told them about content of the SAR. What is the purpose of the visit, the content of the report, yeah, but there's no coaching because you want it to be open. Yeah, if you, like as I said, if you practice what you have put on paper, then there is no worries. All right, and whatever is being brought up during the interviews by the staff or the student, if that goes into the report, it is we receive it openly, because that will be areas for us to make further improvements. Yeah, and exercise your self-accreditation status well. Yeah, so we learned that you have to defend your SWA accreditation status. You have to be creative, forceful, be forward-thinking, yeah, in your practices, but you must make sure you adhere to the requirements. Okay, so the MQA representatives are there for a reason. Yes, they are there for a reason, because they know how far you actually adhere to these requirements, and that is part and parcel of the site visit, of the whole exercise. Yeah, so you have to be brave. Yeah, you have to brave it, because there will be issues that they bring up, and you will have to defend your practices, why you do things the way you do. All right, that's all from me. I hope this was insightful, and it helps you in preparing for your site visit. Okay, so yeah, I'm the speaker and I'm also moderating the session, but it's okay. Let's see. We have Q&A. So Prof. Irfan, maybe you can join me in addressing the question and answers. So we have one from Nur Azman: who are among internal and external parties being allowed to access the SRP? Okay, so if I may answer from from those internal and external parties, internal SRP was given to all the heads of departments. For academic, it was the dekan, timbalan dekan, non-academic, pengarah, timbalan pengarah. We gave them access to the SRP, and all of those who were in the team to write the SRP. What about USM?
Yeah, same, Prof. Kiran. We also had sessions with the head of PTJs, head of departments, and we shared with them our SRP.
Okay. Our second question is on how is the MQA feedback so far? All right, for since this exercise happened in December, we have not received any formal feedback as yet.
Yeah, for us, USM also, unlike whereby they had to go through 1 hour of exit meeting, we had a much shorter session of exit meeting. But until today, we are yet to hear any formal official feedback from them. I think we are still waiting for that.
If anyone has a question, you can raise your hand and then my staff will unmute you so you may pose your question. Anybody else with any questions?
I think that's one here. Norifwaida Zainal Abidin, she raised her hand.
Okay. Norifwaida, you may pose your question.
I think.
Hello?
Okay.
Okay,
Yes,
you
yes.
can hear me?
Yes, yes.
Okay, I'm Huida from Uni 10. Okay, maybe this question, maybe both of you can answer lah. Okay, actually, if we submit because for the second talk with MQA, we need to submit SRP together with SRR. It means 2 documents lah. In one SRP is prepared by the champion of the standard, and then SRR is prepared by the IQA. Okay, for example, during the audit date, if we claim the statement for the AL5, for example, some of the standard we claim for the AL5, but during the audit, the auditor turunkan ke AL4 or 3. So is it we have to defend the evidence or the evidence, and we have to show it to the panel of assessor. Usually they already accept or not?
Okay, want to go first, Prof. Kiran?
Okay, all right. What I can say is actually at when we did our SRP, most of it we put it as 5. Okay, being very confident. So we said, okay, yes, we have reached this level. During the interviews, you will not know. Okay, the panel does not indicate to you whether they have lowered your level, the rating that you have given yourself. There's no such thing. Only thing is, as they talk to you during the closing, that's where you will know issues that they have raised which are of concern. So if you have put 5, they might not think so. So they might give you a recommendation on that. But there's no direct, clear indication. No.
Okay,
Yeah,
another one. Okay, maybe
Can I
maybe
respond to that also? Okay, as what Prof. Kiran mentioned just now, during the visit, unlike we in USM actually we had to go through hybrid audit. The first 2 days actually in online, and then the 3rd day is when they came to USM physically. And during that visit, they also had a separate session with our QA office. So this is where actually they pose a lot more questions, and from there we know that okay, these are their concerns in addition to what they explain or they raised during the exit meeting. So we know that perhaps these are actually doesn't really reflect our the attainment level that we declared earlier. So yeah, they did not say okay, yours should be AL3 or L4, but we know from during the interview, during the session, then we know actually these are their concerns. All right.
Okay, the concern we need to give a feedback to the MQA, is it they have a specific duration time? Maybe we need to settle within the 6 months after the closing of the closing meeting.
No, after the closing
Okay.
meeting, we can't do much because the closing meeting is an oral meeting. We have to wait for their formal report.
Okay,
So we are still waiting for
noted.
their formal report. Yeah, we can only do rebuttal on that report, not the closing.
Okay,
The
noted.
closing
Thank
kita
you.
dengar saja. Yes. All right, there is a question on what about the visit to branch campus? Okay, so we do not have branch campus. That was not included.
For us, USM, at first, last year, they decided to go to our health campus, but somehow, I don't know, because of COVID and stuff like that, then they decided to go and visit our main campus only. But it's up to the auditors, actually. I think they will decide where they want to go.
What was the most challenging issue raised by the panel? Prof. Irfan, would you like to take this one?
Well, in USM, because we have two separate centers actually handling these quality matters. So because it is very new, the governance is different now. So they have a lot of questions pertaining to our IQA. Who does that? Okay, which center actually takes care of this? So that's, I think, the main concern from the panel of auditors for USM.
Similar to UM also, an issue was raised on our Jawatankuasa Senate Accreditation, because for our accreditation for programs, we have internal assessors and one external, which is usually we take the pakar bidang as external. But that the whole panel, Ketua panel is from within UM, and it is usually from my center, from QMAC. So they raised and our Jawatankuasa Senate Accreditation is chaired by the TNC academic, and QMAC is not under TNC academic. So we had to defend that. Yeah, we tried to, not to try, that's why I say as SWA accreditation, I said you have to sometimes be brave enough to tell this is how we do things. So we had to defend ourselves and say we do things very objectively. All right, we are heading the panel, and QMAC is actually a very independent unit, which is directly under the Vice Chancellor, now the Associate Vice Chancellor, and we head it so that the whole exercise is controlled to a certain level. Yeah, but we do feel that they might give us some comments on this later in their report. Yeah, but so far this is how we do things, and it has worked well for us, and we are very objective in how we carry out the accreditation of our programs, and we have one external as pakar bidang.
Dr. Nur Azman, you raise your hand, please.
Assalamualaikum and good day, Prof. Kiran and
Yes.
Prof. Irfan. Thank you very much for sharing. Very much interesting sharing experience because we at UPM is waiting in the next few months for us to be audited. So can you please share, did they actually indicate whom they want to meet and who are among those who are supposed to be the auditee, so that we can make sure that people that they want to see is around and have some preparation?
Yes, Prof. They do in the initial itinerary, the preliminary meeting, they make it very clear, like say, for example, board or even for up to the level of board of directors, how many of them they want to meet, and they want to make sure there are representatives from academic, representatives from the society, financial, so very precise. And even for student, yeah, kalau UG, PG, local berapa, international berapa, and also including students with special needs, lecturers, roughly it should include professors, Professor Madya, lecturer biasa. So yes, they are clear, they give you clearly who they want to meet.
Yeah.
So
Same goes
just
with
now,
USM. Yeah, we had a preliminary meeting with them, so
Okay.
they identify which particular departments or any individuals that they would like to interview. So yeah, we have agreed earlier for that.
So the prior meeting is between the auditor and the QA center.
Yes,
Yes.
yes.
Yeah.
Okay, so then
MQA will arrange that. MQA will arrange the meeting.
they call it prior audit meeting, something like that, pre-audit meeting. Oh, okay. Oh, that's very good. So at least we have some preparation. We can have some clue on what aspect that they wanted to look into more detail, kan?
But once they have identified the people, and then of course those identified, they will start asking you. So in our case, even our board of governors, the president himself started asking us, okay, and we had to give briefing to him.
Okay.
So about all
Okay.
this process and exercise.
Yeah, at least you can have some preparation rather than they suddenly kata dia nak jumpa so and so, kan? So
No, I think from what I can remember, ad hoc nak jumpa so and so tak ada. It was all informed earlier, and those are the people. Yeah. But
So
clarifications a lot, kan? Clarification with the QA unit happen quite often throughout the 3 days.
betul lah, yang penting consistency antara dokumen quality center and the person and the auditee tu. Kena konsisten tu yang penting tu. Kan?
Yes.
So yang panel tu how many of them? Yang 7 orang tu NQA officer kan?
Ours is 5.
Okay. Ours panel 5 and QA officers 7.
12 orang.
A lot.
Okay, thanks a lot.
Yes,
Thank
thank
you,
you, Prof.
AOS.
Yahya. Thank you, Prof. Yahya. I can see you.
Okay,
raise your hand.
Assalamualaikum. Good morning.
Morning.
Kiran. Well, first of all, congratulations, both of you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Okay, my question is, when during the audit, do the panel looks like that they want to determine, because the audit is based on the rubrics, okay? Then do they use the rubrics, okay, to determine where you are?
Do they use? Okay.
You get my question?
Yes.
Yeah. Whether you are in level 4, level 5. Okay.
Okay.
How do you determine that? Yeah.
Okay. Since we were not in all the individual interviews, we don't
Okay.
know. We do not know how far they actually follow that rubrics. But what I can say is during the exit meeting, in the exit meeting, when they gave their briefing of overall area by area, you can see that to a certain extent they are addressing the rubrics.
Oh, okay.
Yes, because the feedback given is very structured. Each area and each sub area in the criteria. Yeah, that we.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. How about you, SM, Prof. Irfan?
As I said, in our case, well, we can actually assume
Predict,
these are the levels that they would like to give us, because our exit meeting is very, very short. And then I can, as I said just now, when they meet us, the QA office, and then that's when they ask for further questions or further explanation, clarification. That's when we know actually perhaps perhaps the decision is this is 3 or 4 or perhaps 5. So again, that we can start assuming from the exit meeting and from the interview.
Yeah. Okay. I think that's different from our experience. Okay. Looks like our experience, our audit based on, I can say that not quantitative, more qualitative. Yeah. It's a different approach. Yeah. Maybe the one for the first batch. Yeah. All right. Okay. Both you, thank you very much. Wish you all the best.
Okay, maybe we can take 2 more questions before we end the session. Yeah, okay, about the reports. Prof. Irfan, okay.
Yeah.
Sorry, but I'm also not quite sure about SRR. SRP, yes, that's what we submitted.
Well, I think I'm not sure also. My understanding the SRR usually it refers to for the program, but probably the question here SRS, the self-review, our own assessment, which level that we think our area is the criterion. I think I perhaps I misunderstood the question, but because in this audit exercise, institutional audit, we did not submit the SRR.
Yeah, we
only submitted the SRP. So yeah, I think that's my response now. Although in USM we did ask all program honors to prepare or update their SRR. We did that actually,
I see.
just to make sure that just in case the auditors ask about the SAR report, then we have a compilation of those SRR.
Okay, all right. So to answer the question, we are only required to submit the SRP.
Yes.
Prof. Kiran and Prof. Irfan, can I ask a last question?
Yes, please go ahead.
Okay. Okay, I just want to get your opinion or your experience during the audit. Okay, during the audit, ada tak possibility of the panel of assessor to recheck back whatever is finding issue during the surveillance audit or the previous audits? Even though kita dah submit all the feedback, ada tak di counter check balik to make sure the consistency of the practice?
Yes, yes. From our experience, I would say yes. That's why, if you remember in the slide I had put there, the MQA reps are there for a purpose. So whatever findings during the previous audit and also the surveillance audit, they do double check with us. Yes, it happened. There are issues that were raised, and then we need to double check with the evidences given for surveillance audit and previous audit.
That means
Yes.
during we prepare the SRR, we need to check back whatever we answer for the syarat khusus or cadangan penambahbaikan during the surveillance and okay, got it.
Yes.
Okay.
Surveillance, susah sikit. It's during the preparation for the SRP, you will take care of what were the recommendations made in the previous audit. I assume, like for UM, it was in 2015. So the previous one to the current one, that you can take care of those issues in your SRP. But surveillance audit happens separately. So surveillance audit, it happens earlier, and you already have one meeting with MQA to clarify all the matters. Yeah, but what we experienced during the site visit, there were also issues raised with regards to the surveillance audit. So yeah, we had sessions to clarify those issues.
Prof. Kiran.
Yeah.
And Prof. Irfan, can I ask one more question? So especially on our SRP is actually based on our information and data until 2020. So in the case of UPM lah. Do you think there is any possibility that they will also ask us about the current information? For example, now it's 2020 already, right? So is there any possibility that they will ask us beyond our SRP report?
Prof.
You know what I
Irfan?
mean? You got me or not?
Yes.
Well, I think based on our experience, the questions that they pose to us are mainly from our report lah, SRP. Mainly from there, yeah.
For UM, I would say we wrote the report before our latest strategic plan. So when we got the dates for them to come in December, we had the new strategic plan in place. So we gave them the additional documentation. Yes, we had to update them.
Did they ask you, or you just prepare for them?
They asked during the preliminary, and we informed them. Yes,
they have indicated that they want to see it.
they asked, yes, if there is any changes, the latest changes, and we informed them about our new strategic plan, and yes, then
So
we provided them with that information.
Not impossible that we also have to update our information until the date of
because in
audit.
UM's case, yes, because in UM's case, the time frame was quite long between the submission of the SRP and the actual site visit.
Same lah.
So that is quite common, updating them.
We can expect that lah.
Yeah, yes.
Okay, thanks. Okay,
Alright.
Prof.
Okay, I think, Prof, the time is almost 12. I'm worried because this webinar is until 12, so I don't want to be cut off suddenly. So, Prof Hanim, would you like to say something to end the session?
Okay, I would like to just mention thank you very much to the panelists today, Prof Irfan and also Prof Kiran. So I hope, I think all of us can still communicate. We also have our WhatsApp group with all the reps from all the universities. So not just this session. So we are looking forward to other activities, inshallah. So thank you very much, everyone. Thank you, Prof. Kiran. Back to you.
Thank you, everyone.
Okay, thank you, everyone. Stay safe, everyone. Thank you.
So no photo session. I cannot see everyone.
Thanks a lot.
Oh, is
Nanti
it?
please share recording.
I think next time. I think next time a meeting would be better, right, than webinar. Okay.
Yeah, it's okay. No
Take note
worries.
of that.
Thank you.
Rahim, recording nak kena request or you'll just share?
Nanti kena tanya Prof. Kiran. Ada recording tak?
Oh, recording.
Okay.
Okay, okay.
Kita akan share lah dalam the group, boleh?
Boleh. Thanks a lot.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, thank you, Prof. Irfan.
Thank you, Prof. Kiran. Thank you,
Prof.
Kiran.
Hanim.
Who's your staff there, Prof. Kiran? What's the name? Wani or
Wani, yes.
Wani? Thank you, Wani.